Hi everybody, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match preview for Newcastle United's upcoming game this weekend against Burnley at St James's Park. And believe it or not, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, which is unheard of in the last few weeks for Newcastle United. But we're back to playing at 3 p.m. We've got Burnley coming to town, the more or less rock bottom of the Premier League. We're sitting in 8th. Confidence is high, so the confidence is high for this game. And we're hoping that Newcastle can continue this unbeaten streak that we're on. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute, see how we're going to line up, talk a little bit about the game and what we think the result is going to be. Just before we do, a little reminder, if you haven't already, please click subscribe, come and join us. We'd love you to be part of Evermore. We're over 5,300 subs, loads of room for you guys. One live show every week at 10 p.m. with me and Mark. What's going on? Pop-up videos just like the preview you're about to watch, loads of content. Give us a try, like the video. And if you fancy becoming a member as well, we've got a membership option down there, which is even less than a pint of lager, especially in this current cost of living crisis, which will be even more expensive. So yeah, for just under £2, you can be a member and get access to videos early doors. So click it if you fancy it. Right, let's get stuck in then. So as we say, Burnley are coming to town, and Burnley had a great season in the Championship last season. They really did, under a great young manager in Vincent Kompany. Play with style, pissed the Championship really. We're the best team by a country mile, records all over the place. Came out of the Premier League, maybe didn't really invest in probably proven quality, and they've been quite naive, I think it's safe to say, in the early spells. But they had moments where they looked all right in games, but just those moments of concentration and discipline have just let Burnley down in the Premier League so far. So they're sitting in 19th position with only 1 point to show for their efforts so far. They played really well against Manchester United. Manchester United managed to shithouse a goal at the end through the lovable Bruno Fernandes that Mark loves so much in the last Premier League outing. But this is a different contest. Newcastle United are going to be hosting them off the back of smashing Sheffield United 8-0 in the last Premier League game. So our confidence is sky high, especially after beating City as well in the Cup midweek. There was loads of changes for that game. I think there'll be loads for this too. So let's see how we're going to line up. So this is what we've gone with, more or less the team that started against Sheffield United, except for Harvey Barnes, who's missing with this long-term toe injury. We'll wish Harvey well. Hope he has a speedy recovery. That position is not want to be kind of too dismissive to Harvey Barnes, because I think he's shown some real quality since we've signed him. He'll be massively frustrated that his Newcastle career has been halted by this injury. But the fact that Big Joe Linton was back midweek and played superbly in part, Joe Willock apparently is on the way back. He could even figure in the squad for Paris Saint-Germain coming next week, which is absolutely incredible. He's well ahead of schedule. But I think what we'll end up doing is having Gordon to the left, Miggy to the right, and Wilson through the middle. Even though Isak scored again midweek, that's 2-2 for him. Come off with a slight niggle, but I think that Wilson will start this game. He's got a phenomenal goal scoring record against Burnley as well, and he looked good against Sheffield United with another goal to his name. So I think he will play up front in that number 9 role. The midfield three, Anderson, Bruno, and Longstaff. I think Tonali will drop back to the bench again, and that trusted back 5 coming back in as well. Kieran Trippier definitely will start this game. I know Livramento was outstanding against Manchester City, and he showed he's more than capable of filling in for Trippier. But for me, excuse me, Kieran Trippier is definitely going to start this game. He's absolutely brilliant. 3 assists in his last Premier League game, has to start. And Big Dan Burn will continue at left back, in my opinion, because Lewis Hall showed he wasn't quite match fit, I think, when he played in the midweek there. And I did feel a little bit sorry for Lewis Hall, because it was quite hard and difficult to play in that Newcastle team in the first half. But when we brought on the quality and the aggression and intensity of Bruno and Gordon, the game turned, and I can't wait to see what the lads are going to do against, Burnley this weekend, because we should really have a field day, in all fairness. As I say, with Burnley, ironically, the fact that they've got one of the best centre-halves to ever play in the Premier League as their manager, they're so open at the back. They really push on, and they leave massive spaces at the back, and the kind of spaces that a player like Callum Wilson thrives upon. With the pace with Gordon as well, I think you can get in behind their full-backs and cause all kinds of trouble, as can Miggy Almiron. I think Bruno will have a lot of freedom in the middle of the park as well. And if Newcastle turn up and play like we did in the second half against City and against Sheffield United, this could be an absolute battering for Burnley. It really, really could. Looking at the team news, obviously for us, like I say, Harvey Barnes is that big injury doubt. Obviously, Dummett was forced off with an injury against Man City. He probably wouldn't have really been in the starting lineup, I don't think, possibly on the bench. Obviously, Willock is still coming back from that injury. In terms of Burnley, they've got Benson Manuel, I think, is got an ankle injury, so he won't be able to play. Is it Ed Carl, Obafemi, and Lyle Foster are also on the injury list. And is it Jornberg Goodmanson came off the bench or came off early against Manchester United, beg your pardon, with a calf issue, so he could be a bit of an injured out for them too. So they're missing a few key players as well, Burnley. So it's going to be really difficult for them against an in-form Newcastle United. But yeah, I think this is a game that we could win and should win. I think we should win this comfortably as well. Without sounding too derogatory in Burnley, I'm going to go for, what's I think? I'm going to go for, 4-0. I'm going for 4-0 in this game. I think that this confidence train of Newcastle United is going to go steamrolling into Burnley. I think with that crowd being as fired up as it is, as confident as we are, the lads playing with freedom, expression. A lot of players have had that rest midweek for the Carabao Cup with the likes of Sean Longstaff, Kieran Trippier, Callum Wilson, Elliot Anderson. I know he had a slight cameo towards the end, but I think the energy will be there, with Gordon on fire the way he is. Bruno looking back to his best. He looked fantastic in that Manchester City game. He really did. And hands off Pep Guardiola, we saw you flirting, you cheeky bastard, towards the end. But we got Bruno in the middle. He knows exactly what we need. He just looks electric again. He looks brilliant again. I think Joe Litton off the bench as well. So even if we look like we're struggling, we've got the powerhouse to bring on there as well. A lot of these players coming back into the Newcastle United squad, like Joe Litton, like Joe Willock. It's just great news. It really is with this form, this confidence, that we've got going into it. I think we should really pick up another win, another 3 points, climb the table in the Premier League. That'll be us up to 5 games unbeaten, bouncing into the Paris Saint-Germain game. If Kylian Mbappe is injured as well, it's a huge blow for Paris Saint-Germain. We'll get to that when we get to that. As I would say, one game at a time. But let us know in the comments below what you think about the game this weekend. Are you confident? Do you think we could batter Burnley? I think Burnley really will not be looking forward to this trip to St James's Park with the confidence as high as it is. It's the worst time to play Newcastle United, but this is the Premier League. Who knows what can happen on any given day? But I'll be really disappointed if Newcastle don't take the opportunity to continue this unbeaten run, put the foot down and just ram right through, blast right through Burnley's weak defence with all the holes in it that it's got, and just get another really resounding victory in the Premier League and keep us climbing that table and keep that confidence high. But we always like to hear what you guys have got to say. Smash a comment and let us know what you think about the team lineup, what you think about what the result's going to be. Do you think it's a more difficult game than I'm giving it credit for, or do you think we're going to bounce into this game and rightly so feel confident to get the win? As I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you on board. Loads of room for you, Evermore. We're growing. We're still a very young channel, but we're growing every single week, every single month. And that's thanks to you great people who click that button, subscribe, like the video. If you want to be a member, you can do that too as well. All the options are below. Feel free to click whichever one you want to click. And we'll be back with more Newcastle United content soon. Back with a post-match review, hopefully after Newcastle have another 3 points in the bag and are climbing up the Premier League and then the Champions League straight after that. So many competitions Newcastle are in, and long may it continue. Have a cracking day wherever you are, everyone. Away the lads. See you later.